2026 is one of the best years to own a Switch. We've got farming sims, puzzle adventures, life sims, horror cozies. There's genuinely something for every kind of cozy gamer. Here are 15 upcoming cozy games you need to know about. Moss, The Forgotten Relic, is a puzzle platformer adventure that brings together both Moss and Moss Book 2 into one package, and it's been beautifully rebuilt for traditional screens. You follow Quill, a tiny, determined mouse navigating a world built inside the pages of a living storybook. The gameplay has this cool twofold mechanic, where you're controlling Quill directly while also manipulating the environment itself, moving objects, clearing paths, creating openings for her to squeeze through. It's this constant back and forth between controlling your character and shaping the world around them that keeps things fresh. You're exploring a fallen kingdom, slowly being reclaimed by nature, solving environmental puzzles woven into beautifully crafted dioramas. The game also includes all DLC and a skip combat option for players who just want the story and exploration. Launching summer 2026. Order of the Sinking Star is a narrative puzzle adventure set in a realm of strange magic, dangerous contraptions, and creatures you probably don't want to meet. You explore 4 entirely separate worlds, each with its own playable characters, unique mechanics, and stories. And then, those worlds start colliding. As they merge, the puzzle systems you've learned intertwine with each other in surprising ways you didn't see coming. There are over 1,000 handcrafted puzzles, and none of them are random. Each one builds on what came before, layering new mechanics and ideas on top of old ones. You learn through playing, not through tutorials. The mystery of the world unravels gradually through gameplay and notes you find, letting you piece together the story at your own pace. You can revisit any area whenever you want, tackle puzzles in different orders, and just wander. No confirmed specific date yet, but it's coming in 2026. My Little Puppy is a short adventure game where you play as Bongu, a Welsh corgi who, after living out a full life with a loving family, ends up in dog heaven. Then one day, he wakes from a nap and catches the scent of his owner drifting in. That's all he needs. He breaks out of dog heaven and sets out on a journey to find his dad one more time. The world you explore sits on the border between life and death. It feels familiar but strange, beautiful but bittersweet. As Bongu, you run, race, explore deserts, snowy mountains, beaches, and colorful environments, using his different abilities to progress. The gameplay mixes adventure, action, and even some racing moments. The story is about the bond between a dog and the person who gave him a home when no one else would, and it doesn't shy away from being emotional. If you've ever lost a pet or loved one, this game will find you. The Witch's Bakery. You play as Lune, a young witch who's just arrived in modern-day Paris and opens her own bakery. She has a unique gift. She can see into people's hearts and use magic to heal their emotions. Each day is split into 3 phases. During the day, you're running the bakery, serving customers alongside your team of friends. In the evening, you explore Paris, build relationships, and literally step inside the heart worlds of troubled characters, each one a different kind of gameplay space with its own unique mechanics. At night, you're improving your magic, decorating the bakery, and settling into your atelier. The progression is tied to building friendships, earning experience, and unlocking new parts of the city. There's a whole emotional storyline underneath the cozy surface, dealing with grief, loneliness, and connection. It leans into slice-of-life RPG territory in a way that feels genuinely warm and human. Q2 2026. No exact date yet. Hela is a third-person, open-world adventure built around Scandinavian folklore. You play as a small mouse. Hela's familiar because Hela, a kind witch who spent her life healing others and taking care of her village, has fallen ill. Now it's your job to head out into the world, forage for ingredients, brew potions, solve puzzles, and do whatever it takes to bring her back. The world is full of dense forests, quiet lakes, rugged mountains, and magical landscapes to explore. You can play through it entirely solo, or team up with up to 4 players in co-op, either online or local split screen. If you're playing solo, a Shade system lets you summon magical echoes to help with puzzles designed for teamwork. There's no combat in this game. It's all about exploration, kindness, and impact. You can actively shape how the world feels by performing acts of goodwill, and you'll see those ripple outward through the characters and the land. Trade Tales. Developed by Brick Geek Games, a Filipino indie studio, this one drops you into Cloverdale after you win a small plot of land in a lottery. You've got nothing, and then you build everything. The core loop blends farming and harvesting with crafting, mining, fishing, foraging, and shopkeeping. You can open a food cart, run a jewelry store, manage a factory, become a supplier, Essentially, build your own brand from the ground up. There's a full relationship system with the townspeople, romance options, even starting a family. The town itself evolves and grows based on what you do. Seasons, weather, and time all affect gameplay, so it never feels static. On top of that, you can travel to other cities, meet new people, pick up new knowledge, and discover new business opportunities. It's enormously ambitious for an indie game. The developer has been extra careful about polish before releasing, so when it drops, it should be in solid shape. No exact date confirmed, still 2026.
Beastro is already out on PC and PlayStation, and it's from Timberline Studio, the team behind The Red Lantern. You play as Panko, a young chef who steps in to run the local restaurant after their mentor mysteriously disappears. The world is split into flavor biomes. Each region has a primary taste profile, whether that's bitter, salty, sour, sweet, or umami. And those flavors shape everything: the environment, the creatures that live there, the hunters who protect the villages, and the meals they need. Those hunters, called caretakers, come to your restaurant to eat, and the meals you cook them actually power their abilities in deck-based combat sequences. You pick ingredients, think about flavor combinations, and the dishes become the cards in battle. It's a cozy cooking game layered on top of a light strategy game, and they fit together really naturally. The story starts when a mysterious visitor arrives and warns of dangers lurking beyond the walls.
Moonlight Peaks. Here's the setup. You're the child of Count Dracula himself, and you're done with the whole Dark Lord lifestyle. You leave the family castle, take over an old abandoned homestead in the supernatural town of Moonlight Peaks, and try to prove to your skeptical father that a life of compassion is actually possible, even for the undead. It's a farming sim, but the crops are enchanted, the livestock is magical, and instead of talking to regular villagers, you're befriending werewolves, witches, and mermaids. You can shapeshift into different forms to explore the town, study witchcraft to unlock spells useful on the farm, brew potions, go fishing, and craft. There are over 24 romanceable characters, 7 unique families with deep secrets woven into the town's history, and a card game called Nocturna you can play with the residents. The gothic aesthetic is cozy rather than scary. Think warm candlelight and stone walls, not horror. Launches July 7th, 2026. Starsand Island. You play as someone burned out on city life who returns to their childhood home on Starsand Island, a stunning anime-inspired coastal world with Studio Ghibli energy in every corner. The game has 5 professions: farming, ranching, fishing, crafting, and exploration. And you're not locked into just one, you can level all of them. The world opens up the more you invest. There are over 40 types of vehicles, including bikes and skateboards for getting around. You can raise capybaras, cats, and dogs on your farm. There's terraforming, a full house building system, relationship mechanics with romance options, and even a moonlit forest full of ancient ruins to explore. Combat is optional, so you can entirely skip it if you just want to build and farm. A childhood friend named Solara acts as your guide and town administrator. The full Switch release is coming later in 2026, expected sometime in summer. Littlelands is being developed by a solo developer, Rafael Martin, and it carries this beautiful Animal Crossing meets Zelda energy that's hard to describe without playing it. You play as a big-headed little kid exploring the Littlelands, a region full of quirky characters, magical landscapes, secret areas, and NPC-driven quests that suddenly pull you into adventures you weren't expecting. What starts as a simple errand fixing a broken computer at your grandma's house somehow snowballs into a mystery-solving escapade. The gameplay is laid back and open. You grow berries, hunt for buried treasure, fish, talk to the locals, help them with their weird little problems, or just sit on a bench and watch the sunset. The world feels alive and curious, like every corner might have something unexpected. It's one of those games where the charm comes from the writing and the characters as much as anything else. A confirmed Switch 2 release is planned for 2026, no specific date yet. Fields of Mistria has been one of the most beloved indie games in early access since it launched on PC in August 2024, and it's heading to Switch this year. It's a farming life sim RPG set in the fantasy town of Mistria, which has been hit by an earthquake and is slowly recovering. You move in, set up a farm, and get to work rebuilding. The farming side covers all the basics: crops, animals, mining, fishing, but layered on top is a deep relationship system with a memorable cast of villagers, romanceable characters, magic spellcasting, and dungeon exploration. The art style is gorgeous and nostalgic in a very intentional way. The writing is genuinely good. Characters feel like real people with ongoing lives and storylines. The game is currently rolling out its final major updates before version 1.0, which includes completing the Mine storyline, wedding events, marriage, and a ton of new content. The The Switch release is expected alongside or shortly after the full 1.0 launch in 2026.
Solarpunk is quickly becoming one of the most anticipated cozy games coming to Nintendo Switch 2, especially for players who enjoy relaxing exploration, farming, crafting, and peaceful survival gameplay. Set across beautiful floating islands powered by renewable energy, the game creates a calm atmosphere where players can build homes, grow crops, automate machines using solar and wind power, and travel through the skies with customizable airships. Instead of focusing on constant danger or fast-paced combat, Solarpunk is designed around creativity, exploration, and living sustainably in a colorful sci-fi world. The visual style gives the game a warm and relaxing feeling, while co-op multiplayer adds another layer by letting friends build and explore together. Its mix of survival mechanics and cozy life sim elements has already made it stand out among upcoming Nintendo releases. Solarpunk is scheduled to launch on June 8, 2026 for Nintendo Switch 2. Witchbrook has been one of the most anticipated cozy games for years. This is a witch life sim set in the vibrant seaside city of Mossport. You're a new student at Witchbrook College, and your days are spent attending magical classes, learning to cast spells, brewing potions, and balancing student life with everything else the city has to offer. Outside of school, there's fishing, exploring, befriending locals, building romantic relationships, even broomstick racing. The city itself draws inspiration from places like Cambridge, with bridges, seaside views, and a richly detailed layout full of secrets. You can play with up to 4 players cooperatively. The game was delayed from winter 2025 into 2026, with the developers noting they wanted the world to feel truly alive and immersive before releasing it. The delay seems well-reasoned. Chucklefish is going deep on this one. No confirmed date yet, but it's one of the biggest cozy releases of the year whenever it lands.
Village in the Shade. You're a newcomer settling into Kagatsu, a quiet Japanese mountain village. You farm, raise livestock, fish, decorate your house, and take part in traditional activities like cherry blossom viewing and summer festivals. The hand-painted art is genuinely beautiful, and the characters have this slightly expressionless style that gives the game a specific atmosphere, cute, melancholic, and deeply nostalgic all at once. But underneath the peaceful surface are rules. Strict, supernatural rules. Never speak to strangers, never leave the village boundaries, never go outside after dark. The story unfolds around these taboos, and as you settle in and build relationships, you begin to uncover what the village is actually hiding. It never becomes a horror game in the traditional sense. The unease is quiet and persistent. Launching in Japan July 30th, and in the West in fall 2026.
Grave Seasons. Published by Blumhouse Games, yes, the horror film company, and developed by Perfect Garbage, this is a pixel art farming sim where you've just escaped from prison and are trying to start a new life in Ashen Ridge, a seemingly cozy little town. You grow crops, fish, mine, sell goods at the market, build relationships with the townsfolk, full Stardew Valley energy. And then, people start getting murdered. Someone in this town is a supernatural serial killer, and it's up to you to figure out who. You gather clues, investigate characters, build trust through quests, and craft items to ward off the killer and protect potential victims. The people you befriend, the choices you make, the things you ignore, all of it shapes how the story plays out. And yes, you can accidentally befriend or even romance the killer before you figure it out. Every playthrough can go differently. It's an absurdly fun concept pulled off with real craft. August 14th, 2026. Don't sleep on this one. 15 cozy games, all hitting Switch and Switch 2 this year. And honestly, every single one of them looks worth playing. Drop a comment letting me know which one you're most excited for. If you found this helpful, a like and subscribe really does help the channel. See you in the next one.